Hey, it's Danny Collins coming to you from Southland Lanes. Just wanted to walk around in here and talk about a few things. So I'm gonna walk around and discuss some interesting things that are going on at Southland right now, even though we're not open. We're getting ready to and trying to figure out all of the ways to do that regarding our employees and how that's working and everything. While we're doing that, I'm going to just take you for a little tour around here and we'll talk. We'll have a little discussion. You can see as we've been closed, we've been doing some cleaning in here, some deep cleaning necessary. And we flipped these masking units over. On the other side are the blue image that you're familiar with, but we decided to flip them around and give it kind of a new look. And then on the walls, we painted the old air vent. There is actually a pretty cool piece of art, and it kind of ties in with the stonework, or whatever you call it, the mason work that's over by the exterior of our building called the lounge. And then back in the 80s, this used to be a light blue wall, and they were alternating colors. So we decided just to kind of tie in the red from the red of the pin splash. And you know, we've started to clean a lot of these carpets. We got all these professionally cleaned. We realized that there was so much buildup around here that we had to just take our time and get it detailed. And so there's many things on the table. I am looking into some Brunswick furniture for these, to get rid of these chairs that you see stacked up here, because they have a tendency to scratch the floor. And there's a matching Brunswick chair that can be pulled up and floated around the center, so I'll get one of those per table and get rid of these, and it'll give it a cleaner look. One doesn't sound like a lot, but when you got 40 lanes, you'll have 40 chairs, and I'll have more of them over there by those tables. And then the bar top tables, these things over here, these are, Brunswick makes one with, or along the base here, it's a circle and it holds bowling balls. And then, of course, it would have matching Brunswick stools like these. So matching the bowling balls, we would take these house balls that are behind the lanes right now and free that space up for our league bowlers. Many league bowlers they've been known to bring in at least 3 balls to 6 balls per bowler, but typically 2, always 2, and then more than that a lot of times. So you have people bringing in 2 or 3 bowling bags, or these big long ones, and when you're bowling, they just sort of stack up here and people are tripping and falling. The way these were designed, maybe not just for house balls, but you could put your equipment on that shelf. You can put your balls out on here, maybe slide your case in here. These things are interchangeable, so we could order more of those shelves and put them over here, and maybe we would get some feedback from some of our league bowlers to see what they suggest. But I think that will cut down on the number of balls that stack up on the rack. Really, they should only have 10 balls on here, and the extra spare ball and stuff should either go underneath or take your overflow and put it back here behind you. With our new social distancing that we're going to be doing, we're going to be spreading out more. So these chairs I'm talking about, you can spread them around. So all this requires a significant investment, but I'm pursuing some funding for that, hopefully. We'll see how that works out. I guess worst case scenario is we operate with what we have and get through it. But we're doing some deep cleaning. We'll take care of what we have. We did this is an old ceiling tile I'm getting out of here. We had a roof leak and I just had the roof repaired. Normal stuff, okay? And then this front desk was pretty well scratched up. We've touched it up, and it's fully fresh. Now, you notice that this is worn out carpet. Yes, I'm gonna get that repaired as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on in here. I'll draw your attention to something else here. Stay tuned. Okay, one of the things you'll notice here is youth bowling board, these tiles. I'll tell you a story about these tiles. As many of you might know, when this center was built in 1959 or 1960, I believe this one was, these tiles were the front of our front desk, which at the time sat right here and it looked over the lanes, and then these lanes had a pit. You would step down in them and then step back up on the approach. And then, you had your masking units down there, and everything else was the same, but we had a different kind of furniture. I've got some old pictures of that I'll feature sometime. Maybe I'll put it into this video. I'll insert it in here. Maybe you can see it. Here we go. We're able to add them in right here. We made a lot of changes in 1990. You can see the furniture here. And then when you get back down into it, you'll see some other areas of our lanes that we redid. And these old masking units, and they're really cool, but they had a lot of electronics in them, a lot of loose wires and old hard worn out wires, and they shorted out all the time, but they sure were cool. So over the years, we've changed this a whole lot. We've got some nice awards by bowlers, and I'm not sure what the credentials are, but it pretty much has it right there, and so these members get voted in on this award. And these bowling organizations have always had recognition of some of their more famous people that have deceased, and they work that out, and they have a nice thing. There's a thing here called a Hall of Fame, okay? Greater Lexington, USB. These people have to be nominated for their contributions in the bowling industry. And I could go down the list and tell a story about every one of these guys and girls, ladies. But there's years and years of them. It goes back to 1980. My dad was a recipient, and my grandfather was. And some of our people that really attributed. Now here's one thing I want to draw your attention to. This is a very famous thing. I mean, it's very honorary to get it. I'll look back to the year 2015. I guess we had 2 people in 2015. Oh yeah, interesting. That's a pair of twins that contributed equally. 2 individuals that have been bowling all their whole life. They were co-recipients because they're twins. And as you can see, between the years of 2016 and 2018, we didn't have one. Now, I will say that that's the year that we closed Eastland, and I think it impacted the bowling community so greatly that they just kind of skipped a year because they were kind of in shock of losing one of their better bowling centers. And I promise to keep that in mind. We want to value bowling. It's got a long history here in our community, and we want to keep it going for more generations here at Southland. This is another award for a dedication and work ethics to the sport of bowling. So that's another, different people have received that. So as you walk around in here and you look along the walls, you'll see some interesting things which have always been here, but maybe you haven't seen them before. Again, we hope to open soon. I don't have an exact date yet. We're working on that. I'll be talking to my employees and talking to the organizations that are helping us, the local government and, everything like that, the state government mainly, and also federal. Whatever plans they have in place for businesses like ours to open, I'm gonna try to pursue them. That's when I get off this video, I'm gonna be back on the computer trying to look up programs that we can get involved in so that we can get our business up and running again. And so follow all the guidelines. We got new policies in place. We're gonna be cleaning a whole lot more. We've always been a clean center, but we need to be cleaning way more. And we're going to. It's gonna be part of our job descriptions. No matter what you do, if you notice something unclean, you pick it up. You get the other guy empowered to do it. We'll be talking to y'all soon. I'll do another video from up here. I appreciate all of the condolences to my family with my dad passing in a couple weeks ago. Appreciate all the generosity of all of our customers that knew Dad, and he was a great man for bowling, and he was a great dad and a great grandfather and uncle. He was a family man. He was much involved in the business and much involved with the customers. He loved everybody that he came in contact with out here. He enjoyed those days up to his last, especially coming out here and watching the seniors bowl in the afternoons. When he couldn't get around too well, he had a driver, and she'd bring him over here, Bertha. She was a great lady. She helped Dad a whole lot. He was able to get out when we couldn't take him. And we took him around, took him out to lunch and met up with him. I called Dad about, several times a week. That's just the relationship we had. We were friends. We were business partners, I guess. He was my boss. He trusted me to run the business. And I intend to keep it going and make it better than it was. And I appreciate all of you employees. I appreciate all the customers. I just hope that you'll be able to support our business going forward. I'm going to do all I can to make this work, and we're going to have a good time together out here bowling just as soon as we can. I've got to follow the rules. So be aware, when we decide to open, please come out and bowl with us responsibly. Don't mob up in crowds. I'm sure we'll be limited. We're all going to have to just understand this and see if we can support this new thing that we're in here. We'll also be, we can't advise. I'm staying in touch with the bowling industry to see how they're progressing, because some centers have opened up in Georgia. I'm watching that every day. So just a weekly check-in here to let you all know we're thinking of you and we want to see you out here soon. Thank you.